1984 by George Orwell was written way back in 1949. And basically this was a prediction of the future society. And I must say it was pretty far off. And so basically it's a dystopian society where people have limited rights. And this plays a major role to the theme, but we'll get to that later. So basically, Smith defies the government by having physical affairs with his beloved girl, Julia. Interested?
Interested yet?
But the government catches him, and they alter his sanity. And as the government says, war is peace, freedom is slavery, and ignorance is strength.
The theme of 1984 is the balance between defiance and oppression, and the cyclical nature of how they fuel each other. Throughout the book, we see, through the setting, as mentioned before, that the government is putting in place harsh restrictions on basic human rights that the people no longer can enjoy. We see their basic rights of freedom of thought, freedom of speech, all just taken away, reduced. We see our main character, Winston Smith, break away from these constraints that are put in place. Now, we also see that when this happens, he is stopped and oppressed even further to reduce his rights even further. We see that oppression fuels the defiance of Winston, but the defiance of Winston fuels further oppression. Without oppression, there would be no defiance. Without defiance, there would be
Symbolism is a key factor for identifying the theme that oppression and defiance fuel each other. The most obvious example of oppression would have to be Big Brother. He's the face of the party, even though he may not even be real. The party reveals this oppression with the saying, "Big Brother is watching you." An example of defiance would be Winston and Julia's physical encounters, if that's what you like to call it. Both Julia and Winston directly opposed the government request, really, for humans to not procreate unless necessary for population. In this society, there is a heavy use of telescreens which monitor the citizens constantly. This is also a symbol that shows the restrictions of freedom from the government and Big Brother. Symbolism played a major role in showing oppression and defiance.
In 1984 is what the theme is built on.
As a result of the oppression, there is a conflict that occurs, and Winston and Julia show defiance. This defiance, shown by Winston and Julia, leads to further oppression when they are both captured and tortured. The conflict between oppression and defiance completes the cycle, which is the basis for our theme. The conflict in 1984 shows an obvious cycle between oppression and defiance, which thoroughly demonstrates our theme.
The theme itself is an example of the conflict between oppression and defiance and how they feel.
And remember, Big Brother is always watching.